You're watching ABC7 News at 7.
This has never happened to me before with anybody.
Annoyed, defrauded.
I had no reason to really suspect anything.
I knew something was fishy.
A local contractor accused of taking money for a job that never got done. What can homeowners do now? Good evening, everyone. I'm Alan Cohen, and welcome to ABC 7 at 7. We'll have more on that consumer warning in a moment, but first, our top stories at 7. For those who claim people really don't care about elections and politics, check this out. Voting in the November 6th general election has already surpassed the 500,000 mark. Numbers posted by the Florida Division of Election shows more than 554,000 people have cast votes by mail ballots. Republicans have returned 247,000 ballots, while Democrats have turned in 207,000. Another 100,000 ballots were returned by unaffiliated voters and those registered with third parties. The latest figures come as a number of panhandle counties hit hard by the Hurricane Michael last week remain unable to provide post-storm voting updates.
This could have hit at a much worse time. This is still far enough out for us to have a good response, I believe, and get the infrastructure built up at least to a level where people can be confident, like the vote by mail.
Since polling places may not be available and some poll workers might not have returned to their homes following Michael, some supervisors of elections want the state to consider changes for the general election, from emailed vote by mail ballots to combining precincts. The Florida Supreme Court is overturning a decision to toss 3 proposed constitutional amendments off the November 6th ballot. Today's ruling means voters can still vote on Amendments 7, 9, and 11. Last month, a lower court ruled the question should be struck from the ballot because they bundle different issues. Amendment 7 would provide state university benefits for children of first responders who die on the job and require a supermajority vote before university boards of trustees could raise fees. Amendment 9 would ban oil drilling in the state waters and ban vaping indoor workplaces. Amendment 11 would remove language deemed obsolete from the state constitution. Now, we are less than a week away from ABC7 hosting the must-watch debate of the season. The race for Congress in the 16th Congressional District is one of the highest-profile races in the country. Both candidates, Republican Vern Buchanan and Democrat David Shapiro, will face off in their one and only debate October 23rd at the Trapezoid, only on ABC7 at 7. Now, if you want to submit a question, you can send your ideas to me at Alan M. Cohn on Twitter. Now let's head over to ABC7's Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan with the First Alert forecast. Bob.
Alan, right now the beach weather has been pretty good as of late. We've had a few isolated showers over South Sarasota County. Temperatures hot again today, 92 the official high at the Sarasota Brayton Airport. That's 2 degrees shy of the old mark 94 set back in 1925, and a pretty flat, calm seas out there as a result of that easterly wind. There are the showers I mentioned. They're moving off toward the west. Most of them have cleared the coast and out in the Gulf of Mexico. You can see a little bit of lingering shower activity near Nokomis, just north of Venice, pushing off toward the west at 5 to 10 miles an hour. Elsewhere, not much going on in Manatee County at this hour, maybe 1 or 2 lone showers popping up here and there over the next hour or so. Currently, it's still warm, 85. It feels like temperature at 93. We have a north wind at 5 now, and the pressure is still pretty high. Temperatures currently across the state after everyone pretty much saw low 90s in the interior portions of our viewing area. It's down into the mid-80s now, 86 in Arcadia, 86 as well in Northport, and 84 in Bradenton, 82 in Englewood and Cortez. It feels like temperatures all in the 90s at this hour, with the exception of Wauchula, which is at 88 degrees, feels like 94 into Northport. Now the winds will switch around. Everyone will start to get that east to northeasterly wind later on this evening. Still a little bit of a sea breeze hanging on right near the coast and a little bit further inland out of the northwest at 5 to 10 miles an hour. As far as the futurecast goes, we are watching this frontal boundary get close to us late Thursday and into early Friday. Not much to it, though. It's going to fall apart really right over central Florida. May increase our rain chances just a little bit tomorrow afternoon and also on Friday afternoon, but not much of a chance for some widespread rain. Be sure to download our ABC7 weather app as we head into the winter months. Some of the residents may be coming back now for a season. This is all free. Just go to your app store, look for WWSB First Alert Weather, and download it. You can follow along with the storms. We expect a pretty active a severe weather threat throughout the winter months. Alan?
Bob, thank you. Last month, we brought you the story of a contractor who customers say has disappeared with thousands of their dollars. Arthur and Cynthia Borchert own Trademark Pavers in Sarasota until August, when customers say they disappeared. ABC7's Taylor Tarragano broke the story, and she's here with more. Taylor.
Alan, this all started with one customer who reached out to us. Now there are several more who have come forward too. We were able to put a handful of them together, but I've also talked to many others who tell me they also gave Trademark Pavers thousands of dollars in deposits, never to hear from them again. Here's a story of just a few. This has rocked you emotionally.
I'm devastated. This has never happened to me before with anybody. I'm devastated.
For months, Linda Pearson sent the owners of Trademark Pavers check after check, $7,800 in total for a job they never did.
The next thing I knew, the office was closed, the phones got disconnected, and I had no alternative but to call the police.
She's not alone.
I've lost about $5,600 to them.
The price was too good to be true.
$1,495, $85.
$4,533.
That's about right. Yeah.
The deposit you put down.
Yeah, that's no small amount.
And the list goes on. One member of our panel has been installing paved stones for more than 20 years. He says after our initial story exposing Trademark Pavers, their brick suppliers canceled 30 open accounts with them.
Apparently, they not only have they bamboozled many of these customers, but the brick manufacturers had no idea. And from what I'm hearing, the big manufacturers, and there are three big ones, Tri-Circle, Flagstone, and Trimron. And from my understanding, two of the big three canceled in excess of 30 jobs that they've had booked with Trademark.
Florida's construction lien law says that even if you've paid your bill in full, those brick suppliers have the right to put a lien on your home if they are not paid by the contractor for their materials. That's exactly what Trimron did to Jim Nickel when they didn't get paid by Trademark Pavers.
I gave them the deposit, and then a month later I found out that a lien had been placed on my house, that they had not paid the supplier, and that so the money I had given them for the first job to pay the paver supplier, that they had not given that money to the supplier, and that my house could be foreclosed on.
Nickel says Trademark completed the first job on his pool in April. Then he put down a new deposit in June for them to pave his driveway. By July, a lien had been put on his house, but Arthur and his wife Cynthia were nowhere to be found.
We would keep going over to the business to find out, what was going on. I was fairly suspicious. And I went over there on August the 1st, and there was a sign on the door that they had closed.
But oddly enough, 3 days later, Jim Loring signed his contract with Trademark Pavers at that same office.
And this was at the beginning of August. And so went in and made the deposit with one of their administrative people. And that was sort of chaotic, but I went through with it, signed what I needed to sign.
According to this police report by the Manatee County Sheriff's Office, the investigating detective was told by the Borcherts that they were in the process of filing for bankruptcy. Then this from an inside source who worked for the Borcherts.
They also, on the day that they tried to file for bankruptcy, accepted another deposit.
Wow.
Wow.
Another customer named Roger Mensing, who's also suing the Borcherts for work undone, says he got this email from Arthur on August 8th. It states in part, quote, "It is with great remorse that we were unable to continue with our relationship. Despite what you may think, this was not or has ever been our intent. We did not foresee this."
So John, we haven't heard from you much. Do you believe that? Do you think that this was malicious?
Yeah. I mean, if they're still accepting, deposits when they had to know long before they sent that final letter out that they're out of business, that they're going out of business.
And just last month, Linda says she got another invoice after already paying the Borcherts that $7,800 for the work they never did.
He initially gave me a bill with a contract, and then about a month ago I got the balance due from a letter that was emailed to me that I owed another $2,300. Wow.
That was the last anyone has heard from the Borcherds, and that includes us.
Tried calling them, tried emailing them, nothing.
Now, the 3 local law enforcement agencies looking into this company have consolidated their cases. The Manatee County Sheriff's Office gave us the 8 reports it took for alleged victims, and Sarasota Police had an additional 2. Now, the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office says it has taken the lead with the several reports it's also received and an open criminal investigation.
Taylor, thank you. In the moment, an alleged victim, the Better Business Bureau, and a contractor with more on the do's and don'ts when hiring a contractor. We're building a better trapezoid. Stay with us.
I just need a second.
Is your weight holding you back and affecting your health?
Did you see this? Your cousin had a heart attack.
Really?
Excess weight or obesity can be serious, but you can do something about it. Visit yourweightmatters.org. Download the free toolkit to prepare you to speak with a healthcare provider. Your weight does matter. Accept the challenge and take charge today. Visit yourweightmatters.org.
Blue 32! Blue 32! Hut hut! It's the Ghetto Gridiron Challenge. The game's on to sell 2,000 vehicles. 12 teams compete for the #1 spot. Score a great deal at every Ghetto dealership. Buy with 0 down. Make no payments for 90 days. Choose from 14 of your favorite brands, all on sale. Who will make it to the end zone? You decide. Rush to a Ghetto location near you or visit Ghetto.com.
Ghetto's got it.
Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Make your holidays sparkle with style. Browse our amazing showroom, cute collectible cottages, and beautiful Christmas displays. Find the inspiration, selection, and quality you need to deck the halls merry and bright. Christmas Traditions also features the area's largest selection of quality pre-lit Christmas trees, every size, shape, and color, and plenty of decorations to make your home shine for the holidays. Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Visit us on New 301, just a quarter-mile north of University Parkway.
Your last chance for 2018 Honda Civics on sale is now. During our model year-end sale, try new Civics for just $169 a month. You made Civic the best-selling compact car in America. And now get Civic, a KBB.com's best buy of the year for less than the competition. New Civics just $169 a month. Your last chance for Civics, all on sale this week at your local Honda dealer.
I'm Anne. I'm a scientist.
Recycling takes a team.
Why don't you let me and me help you out?
Everyone plays a part. Don't trash
I love taking stuff apart and building new things out of it.
what could be treasure.
Pal's my most advanced android. This is awesome. You haven't seen anything yet.
Give your cardboard box another life. Recycle.
Recovery from mental and substance use disorders is real.
You can recover.
It's possible. It happens every day.
Never give up on yourself.
Discover hope and help.
The world is a beautiful place again.
Join the Voices for Recovery. For confidential information for mental and substance use disorders, call 1-800-662-HELP.
Watch Suncoast View weekdays at 9 a.m. on ABC7.
Welcome back. Tonight, a cautionary tale for every homeowner. The perils and pitfalls of hiring a contractor to work on your home. Now, let's be clear, there are a lot of good contractors out there installing pavers, roofers, pool companies, etc. But as you just saw, things can go very wrong. So let's talk about it. And joining us for more are Brian Oglesby of the Better Business Bureau of West Florida, Jim Loring, who is a customer of Trademark Pavers, and Mike Bossi of Custom Pavers. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us tonight. And Brian, let me start with you, because I would imagine in your role, you see accusations like this practically every day.
Well, we do, and a common complaint we see at the Better Business Bureau are consumers giving a deposit, usually a high deposit up front, and the contractor's not coming back to finish the job. So that is something that we contend with on a frequent basis at the Better Business Bureau. And the key here is helping educate consumers and helping them make these wise decisions when they're choosing a contractor. There are many great contractors out there, And the key is finding those contractors and hiring them.
And let's be clear. The most important part of what we're talking about is to ask the questions before you write a check or hire a contractor, because frankly, correct me if I'm wrong, the consumer protection laws in Florida really are not what they should be, and it's up to the Department of Agriculture and Consumer Affairs to basically be in charge of investigating these things, and they don't have a lot of resources.
Well, and no matter how great the laws are when it comes to bad contractors or even scams, the best defense for consumers is to be an educated consumer. Doing that homework, doing that research, stopping for a minute, taking that time to vet the company you're going to hire to make sure you're making the right decision before you move forward.
So, Mike, you are a contractor. You do this for a living. If you were to give consumers out there, people watching right now, one piece of advice when hiring somebody to install pavers like you do, it's not just about the price tag, correct?
Exactly. Personally, trademark has affected my business. I would say about $50,000 a year I've lost in business, $250,000 based on a 5-year cycle. And I would come in with a bid for $8,000 and trademark would come in for $5,000. And the homeowner saying, you're charging me way too much money. And I'm saying there's something wrong there because I could not make a living based on those numbers. So Brian said it exactly, vet these people. And if it was me hiring a contractor today, I want copies of their certification of liability. I want copies of their workers' comp. And I want a reference list. I give 600 references to each job based on zip code that people allow me to say, listen, use me as a reference.
But Jim, that's not what a lot of us do. I mean, we're looking for price, and we're taxed for time. Is it possible to go through all these steps every time you need to hire someone?
It is. I think we made the mistake of writing a referral from someone who was reputable, and no one could see this coming. So when we had to do it all over again, and we did, to find our paver contractor, we were a little more thorough, went through the Chamber of Commerce and the BBB, and that was some comfort.
All right. We have to take a quick break. Our conversation on consumer warnings continues right after we get a check on the first alert forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob.
Well, the warnings as far as red tide goes, it has been lifted over most of the area beaches. There are a couple still showing up in some areas in Sarasota County near New Pass and also on the south end of Lido Beach. But all in all, the latest report came out looking pretty good. And you saw a lot of beachgoers there at the Holmes Beach webcam as they watched a nice sunset right there. And pretty calm conditions out on the waters today. As far as high pressure goes, that's the reason why things have been so hot. This high pressure ridge is situated now just off the coast of Florida, and that's providing us an easterly wind flow, which really tends to warm us up. We have had record highs, or at least near that, for the past 3 days now, with highs reaching in the low 90s each day. This little frontal boundary that you see right here is going to get close to us, it looks like, on in through late Thursday into Friday as it slips down from the northeast. This front will bring us a little increase in clouds, maybe a little bit better chance for a few scattered showers in the afternoon. We've seen a few today, but most of that action now offshore. Starting to see some lightning generated with a cell off of Fort Myers. This one may generate some lightning as well. Nothing going on right now along the coastline. Maybe 1 or 2 isolated showers popping up into Manatee County, but it's unlikely at this point. Temperatures will stay warm right through the 11 o'clock hour, 80 degrees. And as far as that future cast goes, a lot of high pressure dominating much of the eastern United States. As that high pressure builds in, it will force this front southward, and then that front will fade away really on into Friday morning. It will cool us down just a little bit, not much. Another front will come through on Sunday late, which will bring us down to more seasonal temperatures on Monday and Tuesday of next week. But tomorrow, unseasonably warm weather continuing. Highs near 90 degrees, a heat index up near 100 degrees by 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and it will stay that way right through the 4 to 5 o'clock hour. A dry air in place in the upper levels of the atmosphere, limiting the shower activity. Normally when you get temperatures that warm in the low 90s and with an east wind, you usually get a pretty good round of showers and storms, but that isn't happening because of that dry air in place. They are getting some heavy rainfall in Mexico now from a tropical wave, really, that is bringing a lot of moisture in over much of western portions of the Gulf of Mexico. Now this is moving all the way into the Pacific, at least the southern end of it is, and that has a chance of developing into a tropical system in the Pacific, not here, but in the Pacific as it makes its way to the west. Water temperatures extremely warm in this region still, and pretty warm throughout the entire Gulf of Mexico, although it did cool right where Michael went, and you can see that temperatures in the low 80s currently there. Current conditions 85 degrees and the heat index at 93. As far as the high goes, I mentioned 92. That was the high. 74 was the low. Normally our low is at 67 degrees. We're missing that. And as far as the rainfall goes, it's still heavy in Texas where flood watches are out and flood warnings. They've had a battle rainfall for the past several days there now as a result of that frontal boundary. Well, everyone in the United States experiencing fall with the exception of Florida and South Georgia. We're being excluded for some reason. High temperature 91 for tomorrow. A temperature 47 in Boston. Look at that. 49 in Cleveland and looks like in the 60s in Minnesota. For boaters, northeast winds at 10 knots tomorrow. Seas will be running right around 2 feet with a light chop out there. Extended forecast, then we'll keep a chance for a few late day showers both Thursday and Friday, but we should see plenty of sunshine. Very warm. There's the cool, at least cooler temperatures back down to more seasonal averages and a nice cool start on Monday and Tuesday of next week. Alan will be back with his guests at the Trapezoid right after this.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
Thanks to the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, what was once impossible is happening today for thousands of patients with blood cancer.
I live.
I live. I live. I live.
I live.
She lives.
Because of the research done by the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society in the battle against blood cancer.
If you had a chance to support the research that is saving lives, what would you do?
So I kind of grew up all across the country. I come from 5 generations of military men. My dad is still active duty. My grandpa is retired Marines. I like going for runs with my dog. I love, taking her out to the dog beach over in Venice. There are so many things here to do on the Suncoast. My goal every day when I come into work at ABC7 is to tell your stories, give you that major local news and those details that you really care about. I'm Jacqueline Matter and I'm here for you.
Be a Heart Walk hero. I'm Scott Dennis. Join ABC7 and the American Heart Association for the 2018 Suncoast Heart Walk. It's Saturday, November 10th at J.D. Hamill Park. Walk with us to help raise funds to fight heart disease and stroke. Your support will help us advance life-saving breakthroughs that will keep more hearts beating. We can't save lives without your help. Register for free and walk with us to have fun and help hearts. For more information, visit suncoastheartwalk.org.
Welcome back tonight. A consumer alert. Customers of a local paving company speak out. Joining us for more are Brian Oglesby of the Better Business Bureau of West Florida, Jim Loring, who is a customer of Trademark Pavers, and Mike Bossy of Custom Pavers. And Brian, at the end of the first segment, there was one more point you wanted to make in terms of the importance of checking out references.
Yeah, it's real important when checking references to ask the contractor for recent current references. In a situation like this happened very frequent. So contractors should be willing and able to give you current references of consumers, give them a call and ask the consumer to go and visit and see the job done, ask questions, and that way you can see what's happening in the moment with the contractor.
Let me ask you this question. If customers or potential customers of Trademark Pavers were to go to the Better Business Bureau site and look the company up, would they have found red flags?
They would have recently. So all these complaints have happened recently, and ever since the first complaint went unanswered, any company who is not responsive to a complaint and does not answer it, they automatically receive an F rating with the Better Business Bureau, alerting potential new customers who go to check them out.
And Mike, just as an example, not to do a commercial for the Better Business Bureau, but how important is it to you to have a good rating with the BBB in order to get business?
Extremely important. If I do a good job for Mr. Smith, I'm probably going to get Mr. Jones. I'm going to probably get Mr. Montgomery. So when I go to a home, I present all my paperwork. We're accredited with the BBB. Here's the BB accreditation. I give them the all the information with regards to liability insurance and workers' comp. If you're bidding on a high-ticket item, you got to go in there and you got to be prepared. You have to be able to show them history. Some companies have been in business a year, some have been in business 20 years. If you have to present yourself as a reputable company by providing the paperwork, they shouldn't have to do the research. When you meet with them and you're sitting down and talking about this paper project, me as a contractor, I will present with you my licensing, my insurance, my BBB accreditation, and that'll go a long way, including your references.
And Jim, in your experience, is the process easy enough, like when you go out and you were searching for a paver contractor? I mean, was it all laid out for you, or do you know a lot more now than you used to?
Sure, I've certainly learned about the trade, not just from this experience with meeting Mike and the investigative report, but through two quotation processes with both the trademark and then the replacement contractor. So the key is a detailed quote, background checks, like Brian said, and then understanding kind of the product and labor equation.
Okay. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Can I add something? I think
sure.
what's more important too is always trust but verify. So if a contractor says they're part of something, if they say they have insurance, go to the source and verify it. Get their insurance company to put you as a certificate holder on the liability insurance.
But that does bring up another question. Unfortunately, we have to take a quick break, so you'll have to wait for that question in a couple of moments. We're just getting warmed up on our conversation on consumer warnings. We'll be back after a quick break. Stay with us.
Did you know you could get life insurance for less than 32 cents a day? With guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance through TruStage, you can get up to $25,000 in protection with a single phone call, and you cannot be turned down for any reason. Even if you have health problems or are living on a fixed income, guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance policies could work for you, with prices starting at less than 32 cents a day. That's as low as $9.40 a month. TruStage can help free your family from immediate financial stress when you're gone.
Utility bills, mortgages, car payments, those are a lot of things that can add up pretty fast.
My mom didn't have life insurance and the cost all fell on me. And that's expensive. We're still paying for that.
Yeah, we're still paying for that.
Call 1-800-218-4991 now. In one phone call, you can help prepare your family with protection amounts up to $25,000. There are no medical tests or health questions. And remember, you cannot be turned down for any reason. In fact, TruStage policies are already protecting over 18 million Americans. And rates are designed to be affordable, starting at less than 32 cents a day. That's as low as $9.40 a month. Plus, your price will never increase and your benefit will never decrease.
When I leave, everything will be taken care of for them.
Call 1-800-218-4991 now for a free, no-obligation quote. TruStage offers plans to fit your budget with prices starting at less than 32 cents a day. Help protect your family from immediate financial burdens after you're gone with guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance through TruStage. Call 1-800-218-4991 now.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to Mesobook.com.
ABC7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you. Watch ABC7 wherever you are, on our live stream, on mysuncoast.com, on the ABC7 My Suncoast app, powered by the Eye Associates, providing sight for life, featuring traffic maps and live radar, dining with recipes, and My Suncoast Restaurant Guide. Visit mysuncoast.com. Click on the Apps tab to download the ABC7 My Suncoast app for Apple and Android. Get breaking news alerts focused on the Suncoast. Download the ABC7 News app. You're watching ABC7 News at 7:30.
Welcome back. Tonight, the Consumer Alert. Customers of a local paving company speak out. And joining us for more are Brian Oglesby of the Better Business Bureau of West Florida, Jim Loring, who is a customer of Trademark Pavers, and Mike Bossi of Custom Pavers. And Jim, let me start with you. Again, if you could explain to people watching us tonight, not only what happened to you, but really kind of what impact it's really had on you and your family.
Sure, that's a great question. I think I'm over the anger stage. I think really I'm just looking for a response by law enforcement and feeling better about the the community we live in and trying to apprehend some of the bad guys. But all of us, the many of us that ran into Trademark Pavers are out lots of dollars, thousands of dollars. The impact is, that needs to be replaced from somewhere. I'm not ready to retire, so I, have to, hire another contractor, pull money from here and there, and try and stitch it together a little bit.
And Mike, you were explaining to us before that this affected your business. You are a well-known contractor around here who does the same kind of work, not just because this company was allegedly basically undercutting you and other companies out there, but it gives your industry a bad name.
Horrible. They've diminished my goodwill because now I'm supposedly more expensive, and that's the mindset that these people have. A bad apple like this can ruin this industry very quickly. And I hope that the law enforcement will make an example of these people, because literally there's hundreds and hundreds of paver guys out there, some big, some small. You want history. I personally would not give a deposit to any contractor that tells me he's going to do the job in 3 months, because that's how long it's going to take to get brick down here because of all the building. So the guy said, give me a deposit, but I'm going to do it in 3 months, so why would you?
So explain that for a second. Let's say I need my pool deck done here, and I'm calling you and I'm asking you how soon you can get started. It is not a quick process?
Not at all, especially with the building boom that we're experiencing here in Southwest Florida. The brick manufacturers are so far behind, 6 to 8 weeks to get brick. So if someone says, give me a deposit, and I'll get your job scheduled in 3 months, I wouldn't do it. Maybe a smaller operator needs a deposit. So I would say, okay, I'll give you a deposit. When the brick is sitting in my driveway, I will pay you for it. And then I want verification that the manufacturer will be paid as well.
And then the Better Business Bureau suggests you should never give more than 10% down to a contractor. And even more importantly, if you want better protections, pay with a credit card. Ask them if you can put that deposit on a credit card. So should something go awry, you have protections in place with your credit card company as well.
Trademark was 50% deposit down, which is ridiculous. Your brick costs are going to be 30%. 30% of your job is brick. So what did they do with the other 20?
Brian, any company can receive a consumer complaint just like any doctor can, any lawyer, and so on. What's the tipping point? What's the red flag that any particular company like this has too many complaints that it should really be a red flag to consumers?
Well, when it comes to complaints, what BBB looks at is how responsive is the company to the complaint. When it comes to volume, we look at the volume of complaints compared to the volume of business the company does as well. So what consumers want to really look at when they're looking at a company and checking them out on BBB is how responsive is the company? Did they address the consumer's concerns? Are they even responding to the complaints? The worst thing a company can do is not be responsive to a BBB complaint, and that's a big red flag.
And this is a tough question, and obviously we have the sheriff's office investigating this situation right now, but many times, Brian, are these considered civil matters, and the law enforcement would just tell you, go to small claims court? Where's the line, and how much resources are out there, whether it's a local sheriff's office or the Attorney General's office to take on cases like this?
Well, and it depends on the case, really, and the effectiveness of the consumers being victimized. If there's a lot, it could be taken to a legal case and the Attorney General's. But not all cases, not all consumers that are victimized by a business transaction are going to be able to have governmental or sheriff's office step in and resolve that. So Better Business Bureau believes in mediating disputes, acting as an impartial third party, and it works very well if the company is responsive. If they want to take care of their customers, we're going to try and bring out the good and the bad of the situation, bring both parties together and find a mutual resolution between them. But when you have a situation like this where the company is not being responsive, the best we can do is document their track record, have it out there in the marketplace, so when future people do that research, do that homework, you see that track record. So we would encourage consumers, whether you pursued any agency, file with the Better Business Bureau, keep this on record so we have that information and can help warn others.
Jim, what process did you go through? Did you get a lawyer? Did you go right to law enforcement? Did you try to go to small claims court? What did you do?
So we went to the county sheriff's office, and at that time they had us go over to Sarasota PD while they determined whose jurisdiction it was going to be, and so filed a report there. And a detective was assigned, and so that was all good. And really, at this point, I'm hoping that ABC7 and the fine investigative reporting team will, create enough activity and find some of the others that were victimized, and elevated in the public, and perhaps get the Attorney General involved, and then we'll see where we go.
How surprised were you when you found out how many other unhappy customers there were out there?
Initially, I was surprised, but in hindsight, I guess this kind of illegal business practice, loose business practice, is fairly common with home repair trades, unfortunately. I think it was the Sarasota PD that advised me never to use a contractor. You probably see a lot of this that has been in business for less than 10 years, which seems kind of odd.
Mike, what kind of ability does the industry have to police itself? I mean, obviously that you and other reputable companies have a lot on the line here.
This is a very competitive business, dog eat dog as it would, and there's so many paper guys here, but these are high ticket items. It is every one of us, we have the responsibility to protect our industry from people like this. I personally think that this is not a business that went under because they didn't manage it correctly. I think there was intent to fraud, and I think they just wanted to get as much as they can and cash out. The word is on the street that there are a lot of small-time operators out there that are struggling now because now they want to go with the businesses that have been in existence for a long time. But the small guy can offer a good product too at a better rate, and not have to worry about being stigmatized as being a crook. So this guy has done a lot of damage, and I'm with this gentleman here. I hope that the district attorney's office will go after these people for economic crimes and the fraud that they perpetrated.
I guess my question is, has there been any kind of organized activity amongst those in your business, different companies, to say, hey, listen, you know what, we need to counsel potential customers that what to look for in terms of some of the companies that may be out there?
There is none.
Well, the paving industry is not regulated by a license in Sarasota or Manatee counties, so that could be something that could be looked at. There's no competency license required for that scope of work, and so you don't have all those. They're not held accountable to being registered or.
Is that a state issue or a county issue?
That is county, so it would be your local county contractor licensing board.
Are there other counties around Florida that actually do have these kinds of?
Require a license for paving, yes. Pinellas County, Lee, Collier, Charlotte County require it. Your state license regulations are your plumbing, your electric, your roofing,
right.
Structural, major things. And then when it comes to painting, tile, pavers, concrete, those are all going to be based on your local county contractor licensing boards.
Well, we have a bunch of candidates for county commission who often watch this broadcast. Maybe they're watching right now and might have some ideas if they're elected, what they could do. We have to take a quick break, and we'll be back for final thoughts in a moment. Stay with us.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Blue 32, Blue 32, hot, hot. It's the Ghetto Gridiron Challenge. The game's on to sell 2,000 vehicles. 12 teams compete for the #1 spot. Score a great deal at every Ghetto dealership. Buy with 0 down. Make no payments for 90 days. Choose from 14 of your favorite brands, all on sale. Who will make it to the end zone? You decide. Rush to a Ghetto location near you or visit Ghetto.com.
Ghetto's got it.
Rugs as Art. You know the name, you know the building, but do you know what's inside? Yes, Rugs as Art is Florida's #1 area rug superstore, but there is so much more. Amazing furniture, accessories, and art. All this and more. Come see for yourself. You'll love our personal touch and be pleasantly surprised by our affordable prices. Rugs as Art and more. There is so much more to explore.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
In life after the military, it's our duty as veterans to have each other's back. I'm retired Colonel Greg Gatson, and it's my mission to help you get the benefits and services you've earned. If you need to file a VA claim, remember these important steps. Submit an online claim through ebenefits.va.gov. Work with an accredited Veteran Service Organization, or VSO. And if you need to attend a VA claim exam, please go. Visit this website to learn what to expect.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
And our guests join us right now for final thoughts. So Jim, what is the one thing you want folks who are watching this right now to know about your experience and what they should look out for?
Well, I would say being thorough with any investment you make in a home repair is a good thing to do. And hearing from Brian and the BBB folks before this story, I'm confident in the role they play. So that's a good thing. And you know, you have to be thorough, and I'd say checking on the insurance references is a good idea.
And Mike, in terms of those who are out there to buy the kind of service that you provide, you know, a paper installation, what are the top questions that they should be asking, and what is the top responsibilities of your industry to make sure that people don't get ripped off?
I would say to the client, go with your gut instinct. I would say don't make a decision then and there. They're going to say sign it or get this going right away. Don't sign right away. Think about it a couple of days and do your homework. And most importantly, don't give a deposit. And I think then we have to prove ourselves to you. You will always be in control because you haven't given us any money. And every paper guy has that kind of concept if they want to stay in business.
And Brian, obviously we live in a busy world where a lot of things are floating in and out of our line of sight here, but you know, consumers like Jim are spending thousands of dollars on services like this, and we're not just talking about pavers, we're talking about roofers and everything else. There's a real lesson to be learned here.
And it's challenging in a busy world, and you have a lot going on, but the biggest message the Better Business Bureau says with anything, even with typical scams that are out there, We all have to just stop for a minute, do our homework, do our research. Going to bbb.org, checking out a name of a company doesn't take a lot of time. Searching the name of the company on the internet, add the word scam or add the word complaint after their name, and you'll get different research results. So just knowing the tricks of the trade when doing your research and homework will make you a savvy consumer. Better Business Bureau has these resources. They're free. They're for anyone to find. bbb.org/Florida license is a whole dedicated website that talks about how to hire a licensed professional and do it wisely.
All right, great information, gentlemen. Thank you very much. We want to thank our guest, Brian Oglesby of the Better Business Bureau of West Florida, Jim Loring, a customer of Trademark Pavers, and Mike Bossy of Custom Pavers. When we return, an update on the investigation into the disappearance of missing Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi. What is President Trump saying now? But first, let's get the final check on our first alert forecast from Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob.
Thanks, Alan. I'll tell you, we'll take you right now to sunset. If you missed it, watching this great program here it is, ABC7 Tower Cam showing a beautiful sky out there, nice calm conditions, some boaters going in and out of the 10th Street boat ramp, and not many storms. There's some out in the Gulf of Mexico right now. And some photos sent in, this one to pics at mysuncoast.com from Stephen Smith at Colonial Oaks Park right there. Some kids enjoying the park as the sun was setting, and you can send your photos in too and see if you can get them on the air here. We have a frontal system located to our north, not doing much at all in terms of bringing rainfall to Georgia right now, but it is slipping to the south very slowly. It'll cool us down just a little bit. This front, for the most part, is stretching all the way from South Carolina right through Georgia, all the way over to Texas, unfortunately. This is where they're getting that rain, that warm, moist air overriding that cooler air, causing the showers to continue. And then to add more problems, looks like some tropical moisture moving into that location. For us, though, the dry air has been around, and so the showers have been few and far between, not much at all in Manatee County. North Sarasota missed the rain, but we had some in Venice and also in Englewood as well as into Punta Gorda earlier. That has since moved off into the Gulf, just one lone little sprinkle there down near Placida to the west thereof, and that continues to head out into the Gulf of Mexico. So your evening planner looks nice. Temperatures, albeit on the warm side, 80 degrees by 11 o'clock tonight. Well, here's the Futurecast, one forecast model, the RPM showing the front coming down. This is Thursday afternoon, and you can see a little bit more rain to the north of us now. We may see a little bit more of that activity here, a few more clouds around in the afternoon and evening. That front really gets hung up right on Friday, right over the north central Florida. It could be a little bit further south. And then some showers, a chance for a few scattered showers and a few storms along that frontal boundary. Another front will start to move and develop across the plain states, and that will eventually cool us a little bit down on Monday and Tuesday. A little bit. Notice that I used that word there, not much. The dry air in place continues, and that's the reason why we don't expect a lot of rain with that front. A lot of moisture in the western Gulf of Mexico. And this is an area we're watching right now for some heavy rainfall moving into Mexico that always causes some mudslides there and flash flooding problems for those folks, as well as in the South Texas, starting to inch that way. So we'll keep an eye on it for you. Water temperature is very warm right there. Always interesting to watch a system in the western Gulf of Mexico when water temperatures are that warm late in the season. Although the models aren't really hinting at anything at this point, water temperatures I alluded to are very warm. I want to show you the GFS forecast model. Now, we're not done with hurricane season quite yet. And this is what we have. This is a high pressure ridge. It's located over much of the eastern third of the nation. This will be here on Monday as that front slips on through. So this is that weak front I talked about. It'll cool us down into the upper 60s on Monday and Tuesday. As I put the map into motion, you'll notice that high kind of exits off. We have a pretty big storm over the northeast move through. That won't be a problem for us. And then as we look through October 25th and 26th, we start to see the GFS anyway, indicating a closed low here off the Carolina coast. And notice what happens. It intensifies over the Gulf Stream and heads right toward New York. I didn't show you that last couple of frames, but it looks almost like a Sandy, if you will, that we saw a few years ago. Well, here's the next name of the storm will be Oscar. It has been an above average hurricane season, and we've had two major storms, Florence and Michael at this point. We've already had 14 named storms. As far as our high temperature goes today, it still feels like summer, so you would expect more storms around with as warm as things have been. 92. Our normal high is pretty nice usually, 85 degrees. 94 the record set back in 1925. I mentioned that moisture kind of moving into Texas eventually. They already got a lot of rainfall there over the past 3 days now, and flash flooding is occurring, as well as more flood watches and advisories for those folks. Well, the fall-like weather continues across most of the U.S. with the exception of Florida. That'll be the case tomorrow with high temperatures. Pretty cool across most of the U.S. The only 90s you'll see is really here in Florida. Well, beach and boating looks like this. Seas will be running right around 2 feet and northeast winds at 10 knots. A light chop on the bays and inland waters. So a chance for showers, a little bit more cloudiness in the afternoon due to that front, both on Thursday and Friday. We dry out a little bit. That's the weak cool front. Then a stronger one moves through late Sunday, but even that's not that strong. We'll cool down to more seasonal temperatures on Monday and Tuesday. Alan will be right back after this. Stick around.
I feel happiest when I'm out enjoying my favorite things, like spending time in my garden. That's why I need a Humana Medicare Advantage plan.
Many Humana Medicare Advantage plans cover everything from emergency care and hospital stays to doctor office visits and prescription drug coverage. In fact, last year, Humana Medicare Advantage prescription drug plan members saved an estimated $6,900 on average on their prescription costs. Humana has a large network of doctors and hospitals, plans that include vision and dental coverage, and most plans include Silver Sneakers Fitness and a rewards program. All for a $0 monthly plan premium in most areas.
Now I can be happy and healthy and keep enjoying all of my favorite things.
Your health and happiness is important to us. Call or go online now to get your free decision guide and see how a Humana Medicare Advantage plan can help keep you enjoying your favorite things.
Me, pick me. Oh, come on, man. Oh man, I love technology. Check out my new phone. Look at this right here. For years, the DeSoto Club has needed improvements. Join me and Boys and Girls Club of Manatee County as we raise money to build a brand new facility. It will be bigger and better, just like it was 40 years ago when I attended. Invest in kids, build great futures.
Each day, researchers make discoveries that bring us closer to the moment when all cancer patients can become survivors. Their progress is made possible with the help of clinical trials. Clinical trials are the brightest torch researchers have to light their way towards better treatments. And if you've been diagnosed with cancer, they may be your brightest ray of hope. Speak with your doctor and visit standuptocancer.org/clinical trials to learn more. Together, we can stand up for all of us.
Dear parents, it's time for a pop quiz. What's the best kind of play for kids? Play that makes us think? Or helps us pretend? Or teaches us rules? Or to be creative? Actually, every kind of play is important because different kinds of play give us different kinds of skills. Help us mix up the ways we play. Okay, class dismissed. Now go play.
Recovery from mental and substance use disorders is real.
You can recover.
It's possible. It happens every day.
Never give up on yourself.
Discover hope and help.
The world is a beautiful place again.
Join the Voices for Recovery. For confidential information for mental and substance use disorders, call 1-800-662-HELP.
ABC7, the Suncoast's official Florida lottery station.
Checking primetime headlines, the investigation into the disappearance of missing journalist Jamal Khashoggi continues to spark controversy. President Trump refusing to criticize the Saudis and Turkish government on the other side, unconvinced the Saudis' claims that he left the consulate unharmed. ABC's Molly Hunter has more from Istanbul, Turkey.
Today, more grisly details from Turkish officials about what they say was the apparently barbaric death of journalist Jamal Khashoggi. An anonymous Turkish official tells the New York Times an audio recording shows that he was dead within minutes. ABC News has not seen or heard any of the reported video or audio, and the president says he hasn't either.
We've asked for it if it exists. I'm not sure yet that it exists. Probably does, possibly does.
Until now, President Trump has been reluctant to go as far as some Republican senators.
He went in and he didn't come out, at least not in one piece.
And some GOP leaders calling for swift punishment.
We're going to sanction the hell out of Saudi Arabia.
Instead, President Trump has seemed to take the Saudis at their word and sent his top diplomat halfway across the world to meet with King Salman and Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. Secretary of State Pompeo pushed back against the notion that he was in any way letting the Saudis off easy, saying it's not about the benefit of the doubt.
Waiting for the investigation to be completed. They promised that they would achieve that, and I'm counting on it.
But what does the U.S. do if Saudi Arabia is behind this, as anonymous Turkish officials have claimed since the very beginning? According to President Trump, the relationship looks stronger than ever.
They're an ally, and they're a tremendous purchaser of not only military equipment, but other things.
But the president adds answers are coming soon.
I want to find out what happened, where is the fault, and we will probably know that by the end of the week.
When Secretary of State Pompeo lands back in D.C., he's expected to brief President Trump about the intel, but also hopefully some of the answers that he got from the Saudis and the Turks. Molly Hunter, ABC News, Istanbul.
Netflix hitting another milestone. It has more than 137 million global subscribers. Netflix beat its own expectations by adding nearly 7 million new subscribers in the most recent quarter. Nearly 6 million came from overseas. Netflix has been making an aggressive push over the past year to add international members, and more growth is expected before the end of the year. The company predicts about 9 million more subscribers will join. And that's all the time we have for this evening. I'm Alan Cohn. Thanks for joining us. Have a good night.